After a long wait, the latest update for Zenless Zone Zero version 2.0 is finally here. Of course, it comes with some new characters, one of whom is Yixuan. According to the 2.0 livestream, Yixuan will have the Auric Ink attribute and the Rupture role. This agent is super unique because she has the game's latest attribute and role. Could Yixuan's arrival in this version make her a meta character capable of rivaling Miyabi? Without further ado, I'm Hoyostation and we will discuss the ultimate guide to Yixuan in version 2.0. Let's do this. Do you have a character or weapon in the game that you really want but you don't have enough stellar jades? Here's a smarter way to recharge your favorite games like Genshin Impact and Honkai Star Rail. Look no further than Lootbar. Lootbar is the most reliable top-up platform. It saves up to 23% for all orders compared with the official channel, and it provides an 80% off for your first purchase. It's 100% safe as you will only be using your UID. We will buy pack for 3000 stellar jades for $42, which otherwise would have costed $50. Totally saving $7.5. We received the crystals we purchased in the less than 3 minutes. All recharges will be done through the official channel with MiHoYo, which allows you to enjoy all top-up offers. Ready to level up your gaming experience? Check the link in the description to get the amazing discount. As usual, let's start by discussing her base stats. Yixuan's base HP is similar to that of other DPS agents at 7,953 points. What sets her apart is her base critical rate of 19.4%, whereas most agents have a base critical rate of only 5%. This is highly advantageous for Yixuan because she is a DPS agent who relies on critical value. Another interesting feature lies in the two new stats exclusive to agents with the Rupture role, Sheer Force and Automatic Rage Accumulation. Agents with this role do not use energy like most agents but instead use adrenaline to perform their EX special attacks. Automatic Rage Accumulation shows how much adrenaline they gain per second during combat. Yixuan's stats show that she can accumulate 2 points per second. The Sheer Force stat increases the sheer damage dealt by agents with the Rupture role. Attacks possessed by agents with the Rupture role are converted into Sheer Force at a ratio of around 30%. For example, if Yixuan receives a 1200-point attack buff from an agent like Astroyao, it will be multiplied by 30%, resulting in 360 sheer force. Next, we will move on to her core skill, one of the most important in the game. Her core passive is called Core Passive Grandmaster of Mysticism. Reading the description of this skill's effect can be confusing, I know. However, at its core, there are some interesting points about it. First, Yixuan prioritizes increasing HP stats over other stats because the more HP points she has, the more sheer force she obtains. Second, Yixuan starts battle with a full adrenaline bar, allowing her to immediately unleash EX special attack and other combos. Lastly, Yixuan has a special bar mechanic called Technique Points. These points are used to activate an additional ultimate called Ultimate Endless Talisman Suppression. Thus, Yixuan has two types of ultimates available in battle. The additional ultimate is only usable when her technique points are full. After using this ultimate, Yixuan gains Auric Ink points, which can be used to activate the basic attack Auric Array. Furthermore, Yixuan receives a 60% damage boost for basic attacks, EX special attacks, assist follow-ups, chain attack, and ultimates. According to the skill description, there are no restrictions, so this effect should remain active throughout the battle. Furthermore, her additional ability Auric Ink Undercurrent activates when there is an agent with the stun, support, or defense role on the team. This additional ability allows Yixuan to deal extra damage and gain adrenaline points when switching out with Perfect Assist. She can also restore adrenaline points for 10 seconds if she or a teammate uses their ultimate. Furthermore, her EX special attack deals increased damage to stunned enemies, and her critical damage increases every time she activates her ultimate. She can consistently activate this effect because she has two types of ultimate with different activation requirements. Alright, let's move on to the next section, the basic attack. There are 4 versions of the basic attack. The first version is called Basic Attack Zero Strike. Yixuan will attack the enemy 5 times, dealing Auric Ink damage. This skill's interruption resistance will increase during the 3rd and 4th attacks. The second version is called Basic Attack Ink Veil Cloud Coalescence. Can be activated by holding the dodge button. This skill creates an area that deals Auric Ink damage to surrounding enemies and recharges adrenaline, allowing you to attack multiple enemies at once. The third version, Basic Attack Auric Ray, can be activated in two ways. If you have Auric Ink points, activate Dodge Nimbus tab, then press the Basic Attack button. Alternatively, if you have Auric Ink points, hold the Dodge button to activate the skill. This skill spreads an array that continuously deals Auric Ink damage. When the skill ends, we'll activate Basic Attack Qingming Eruption. While the skill is active, adrenaline is continuously restored at a rate of 7 per second for 3 seconds. The user becomes immune and enters the Vital View state during the skill's duration. This skill deals continuous damage to all nearby enemies and restores adrenaline for Yixuan. Additionally, after the skill ends, we'll activate Basic Attack Qingming Eruption, which deals massive Auric Ink damage. Now guys, we will move on to her special attack. It's called Special Attack Shadow Ignition. It quickly retreats and then attacks forward, dealing Auric Ink damage. Perfect dodge can be triggered while retreating, but it will not be followed by a dodge counter. Anti-interruption increases during use of the skill. As for the EX Special Attack, it's called EX Special Attack Ink Manifestation. The effects of this EX Special Attack are confusing, I know, but at its core, it has several interesting features. First, Yixuan can parry with the first use of the skill, causing her to charge. After triggering a perfect block, 10 adrenaline will be restored. And lastly, this skill has several steps. After performing a perfect block or reaching the maximum charge limit, indicated by a flash of light, pressing the special attack button again assists follow-up Celestial Cloud Blitz. If you have at least 20 adrenaline remaining, pressing the special attack button again will activate Basic Attack Qingming Eruption, which deals explosive damage, guys. This can be followed by Basic Attack Auric Array by holding the dodge button. The number of adrenaline points you have determines the possible combo variations of this skill. The fewer adrenaline points you have, the less likely you are to execute this skill to its final stage. The second EX Special Attack is called EX Special Attack Cloud Shaper. The EX Special Attack can trigger the EX Special Attack Ashen Ink becomes Shadow, which deals an explosive final attack and inflicts deadly Auric Ink damage. Additionally, it deals continuous damage during the charge, providing crowd control. We will also discuss her chain attack and ultimate. Yixuan's chain attack is called Chain Attack Auric Ink Rush. Involves dashing forward and exploding, dealing Auric Ink damage to enemies. There are two versions of Yixuan's ultimate, guys. The first one, named Ultimate Qingming Sky Shades, equalizes the total HP of all team members. This is particularly useful if Yixuan is hit by a high damage attack because support characters, who often keep their HP full, are not usually on the field. The second version of her ultimate is named Ultimate Endless Talisman Suppression. I should mention that since this ultimate has different activation requirements, we can activate both ultimates simultaneously at close intervals if we have sufficient technique points and decibels. Additionally, after this or the normal ultimate is activated, Basic Attack Auric Array provided you have Auric Ink points and hold the dodge button after activating the ultimate. Although this ultimate's damage output is lower than that of the normal ultimate, it's no less effective, as it increases damage output and applies an additional daze effect to enemies. Finally, we come to the last part of the kit, the Mindscape. In the first Mindscape, called Spiritual Path, Yixuan gains a 10% critical hit rate increase and 120 technique points. This allows her to unleash her second ultimate ability faster at the start of the battle. It also deals extra damage to enemies when Yixuan or her teammates attack, which increases her damage output. The effects of the second Mindscape, Word of Misfortune, are particularly interesting, guys. It enhances the damage of her ultimate and EX Special Attack, especially against enemies with high ether damage resistance. Furthermore, we can extend an enemy's stun duration if we use her normal ultimate on a stunned enemy. Another interesting effect of this Mindscape is the Condensed Ink effect, which can be activated in two ways, Qingming Eruption or by performing the EX Special Attack Ashen Ink becomes Shadow by pressing the Special Attack button. This allows you to perform the Ultimate Endless Talisman Suppression, which deals reduced damage at 1200% sheer force. This effect will undoubtedly increase the damage dealt by the second Mindscape. The damage increase from this Mindscape can reach 20% of the first Mindscape. Next one is the fourth Mindscape, the One Path of Mysticism. Interestingly, this Mindscape has no activation duration limit, so the damage increase will last throughout the battle. This means that the EX Special Tag Cloud Shaper and EX Special Tag Auric Ink becomes Shadow will increase by up to 60%. This is significant considering the damage multipliers for both attacks are already fairly high. The sixth Mindscape is named Swift Yet Still. It has an effect after using the ultimate Qingming Sky Shade, which grants a regulated breathing stack. While this effect is active, Yixuan can cast the ultimate Qingming Sky Shade without meeting the Technic Points requirement. Endless Talisman Suppression once. Regulated breathing ends after the ultimate Endless Talisman Suppression is used. This effect can only be triggered once every 30 seconds, guys. Only one stack of regulated breathing can be held at a time. Additionally, while in meditation mode, Yixuan's sheer damage increases by 20%. Like most Mindscapes, this one is very effective, as it can increase Yixuan's damage output by almost twice that of Mindscape Zero. If you rotate well, this Mindscape can provide an additional ultimate, Endless Talisman Suppression, which increases sheer damage by 20% while in meditation mode. This can be activated after Yixuan casts her ultimate. Next, we will talk briefly about how to play this character well. First, since this agent excels in attack role, the first character we should use in the field is a stunner character, such as Koleida, to stun the enemy. Then we use Panyin to provide a buff that increases sheer damage through his kit. When the enemy is stunned, attack with all of Yixuan's combos. You can use her EX Special Attack, which has various variations, her basic attack, which can also deal significant damage, or her ultimate, if you have enough Technic Points or Disable to deal maximum damage. After that, you can use Auric Ink points to perform a basic attack Auric Ray, to replenish adrenaline and deal additional damage through Qingming Rupture after using basic attack Auric Ray. If you are in Deadly Assault mode with a time limit, I suggest you to immediately use the EX Special Attack combo until your Technic Points are full. Then unleash the ultimate, Endless Talisman Suppression on enemies in stunned status to save time. You can also use ultimate Qingming Sky Shade in stunned mode to deal maximum damage. Remember to repeatedly rotate back to the stunner such as Koleida, Panyin or Yixuan to maintain buffs and keep enemies in stunned status. Alright, next we will discuss her signature W engine called Qingming Birdcage. The advanced stat of this W engine will increase HP by 30%, which is a perfect match for Yixuan's core passive that can convert HP into sheer force points. As for the effects of this W engine, it will increase critical rate by 20%. Well, the effects of this W engine are certainly very interesting, guys, since this W engine significantly boosts the user's critical hit rate and provides additional ether damage and ether shear damage to ultimate and EX special attacks. It's highly compatible with Yixuan. An interesting feature of this W engine is that we obtain its full effects from the start of the battle. At the beginning of the battle, we immediately receive 2 stacks, ensuring that Yixuan's damage is maximized from the very start of the battle. Okay, next I want to discuss the W engine and disk drive that are suitable for Yixuan. The W engine option that can maximize Yixuan's kit is Qingming Birdcage, which is her signature W engine, because all the effects of this W engine provide everything needed to increase Yixuan's damage output, especially in terms of increasing her critical rate. Unfortunately, since Rupture Agent is a new type of agent, there aren't many alternative W engine options, but Yixuan still has viable alternatives. For an A-rank alternative, you can use Radio Wave Journey, which unfortunately can only be obtained through the Premium Battle Pass. This W engine increases AD sheer force, which can be stacked up to 3 times after using Chain Attack or Ultimate. Since Yixuan's ultimate has 2 versions, this effect is easy to maximize, guys. For a free-to-play alternative, you can use Puzzle Sphere, which is an attacker W engine. Although we cannot maximize its effect on the Rupture Agent, this W engine can still be used by Yixuan if the 2 options before are not available. Lastly, the recommended disk drive for Yixuan is the 4-set Yunqi Tales, where the 2-set boosts HP by 10%, And the 4 set increases critical rate by 4% up to 3 stacks for 15 seconds. And the 4 set increases critical rate by 4% up to 3 stacks for 15 seconds when the user performs an EX special attack, chain attack or ultimate. Additionally, it provides a 10% sheer damage boost when fully stacked. The effects of this disk drive provide HP, critical rate, and sheer damage boosts, which are highly useful for maximizing Yixuan's damage output. As an alternative, you can meet Yixuan's critical rate requirements and prioritize critical damage. You can use the 4-piece Chaotic Metal set, where the 2-piece set increases ether damage by 10%, and the 4-piece set boosts the user's critical damage by 20% while also enhancing corruption damage triggered by attacks. For the 2-piece disk drive set, you can use Branch and Blade Song, which provides a 16% increase in critical damage, or Woodpecker Electro, which increases critical rate by 8%. If you have already met the required critical value, the 2-piece Chaotic Metal set can also be used to increase ether damage. Anyway, here are the recommended stats you can use, guys. Finally, we come to the last part of this video, which is about teammates that can be paired with Yixuan. As stated in the additional ability requirements, Yixuan is a Rupture agent with the Auric Ink attribute that requires certain conditions, namely pairing with the stunner, support, or defender roles in your team. The first character that is suitable to be paired with Yixuan is Pan Yin-Hu. Pan Yin-Hu has a defender role with a physical attribute that can increase sheer force and boost damage dealt by teammates. Therefore, he is highly compatible with Yixuan, who requires sheer force stats. The next character is Jufufu, who can be used alongside both Yixuan and Pan Yin-Hu to form the best premium team. She can increase critical damage for all teammates and boost ultimate damage, which is highly beneficial for Yixuan. Additionally, Jufufu can increase the maximum decibel by 1000 points and provide a decibel cashback of 300 points to teammates with the Rupture or Attacker roles. For an alternative stunner, you can use Qualida if you don't have Jufufu. I do not recommend Trigger or Chingy as stunner alternatives because they require a teammate with an attack role. This means some of their abilities cannot be fully utilized. Qualida can provide significant stun value with relatively easy gameplay. Note that Qualida has a requirement that aligns with Yixuan, having a teammate with the Rupture role. For the final alternative, none other than Pulchra, who is also one of the A-rank stunners capable of delivering off-field stuns. Additionally, the requirement for her additional ability can be activated with a Rupture agent, making her a good alternative for the current Yixuan team. She can deliver off-field daze and deal additional damage to enemies when in MINDSCAPE 6. Alright guys, that's all for this video. What do you think? Are you planning to get Yixuan in version 2.0? Feel free to leave them in the comments down below. And don't forget to check out my other videos because they are just as cool. Thanks for watching, stay safe, stay healthy, and see you in the next video.